You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good day and welcome to the Mushie Moment with myself and my awesome co-host Rev Cindy. We're live today on Tuesday, June 25th, 2024 on paceradio.net. We stream everywhere. Hope you're all doing great. How are you doing, Cindy?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, Steve?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's a beautiful day here in BC. You'll hear a few planes flying over, but, it's a beautiful enough day for them to fly. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, besides this cough. I was just sharing a joint with my cat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Was she taking big hoots?
No, just little sniffs.
And then
No, she just purrs and then walks away.
Yeah. Mika's just snoozed out. She's laying on her bed, just all comfortably snoozed out. Just going, yeah, I guess this is where I sit and listen to you babble for a while, huh?
Yeah, she's used to it now.
Yeah. Oh.
What did you do this past weekend?
I did all sorts of cool things. I went out to Anki and Miriam's sanctuary and went and visited them and hung out for a hickory ceremony. And there was quite a few people for it. They brought up a traditional maracame from Mexico that does the chants and the songs. And
Okay, so let's go backwards a little bit. What is a hickory ceremony?
oh, it's where everybody gets together and does hickory.
And what is hickory?
See me trying to dodge in there? It's peyote. It's the cactus, peyote. So they brought up a what most people would call a shaman that is generational within the teachings of the medicine and the administering of the medicine. And Miriam and Anki brought him up to their sanctuary. And I got to say, that little sanctuary they got and the fact that they're bringing lots of different people in, to both administer in their specialties as well as people to come in and experience it and heal. Got to give them a kudos. It's watching a lot of magic happen for a lot of people, watching a lot of lives change. But this one, they brought in a traditional shaman of the peyote, or the hickory as it's called there. And we sat through evening ceremony, listening to the beautiful chants and the getting the medicine administered, and not just him doing the chanting, because there was an opportunity for other people as well, and there was other people there that have done ceremonies and are familiar with their chants, have their favorite chants, and they would get a moment to get in and give their chants as well, and it was. It was different than any of the other ones, any other ceremonies I've been to, and it was quite a unique and awesome time. But I'm still processing because it was different than anything. The medicine itself was different for me. The experience was different. The aspects of the ceremony, the traditionality, and what was brought there was all different for me. So I know I've got a lot of integration to do through this one. But watching how many people have experiences that it changes their lives just lights up the heart. I'm glad that I was kind of in, not that I was in early in the end of the psychedelics coming into the healing realm, but I'm glad that I came in early enough that, the wave and watching what all it does and what goes on is it's cool to be on the wave and watching it going. When I first started microdosing and we put our own microdoses together, there wasn't a lot of info to be found, and most of the info you had to go to places that were scary to go to get the information because it was all illegal stuff. And watching the change in that has been astronomical. Like I'm watching the fact, actually, I posted a few things up. Let me bring up a couple pages. Let me see if I can make this happen in doing this, because I find this
Find this.
Oh, it's not letting me access the screens. I find it rather interesting, the aspects of investment that are being looked at in the just the actual investment world. I was going to bring one of them up. Let me just read it here. This is from the Motley Fool, which is an investment page. Let me see if I'm. What do I do again to bring a page in? I go to present, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I go share screen.
Correct.
And then it should give me the windows I have open, correct? And I pick it.
As long as they're opened in the same platform, yeah.
Well, they are. Let me go to entire screen. Let me see if this will work and if I go to that now. So if I go to here, are you seeing the Motley Fool thing?
No, it's us down in the corner. See?
Oh, add to stage. Okay. No.
That's all it is. It's just us.
Hold on. Where did it go? I wanted to add to stage. Okay. Yeah. Just hang on. Because if I go to here, does that bring up the psychedelic stocks?
No.
Well, then how can I be sharing my screen? Okay.
Click it.
Okay, because you would think it would show whatever's on my screen, and when I go to psychedelic stocks, that's on my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not going to. Must need an update. It's not allowing me to share the stuff. I'll just read it here. It's got a headline of the best psychedelic stocks to buy in June of 2024. And psychedelics have gone from a countercultural fad of the 1960s to mainstream medicine in the 2020s. Quite a few psychedelic pharmaceutical companies are developing drugs that follow the legal regulatory pathway to approval. Hallucinogens, including psilocybin, are showing considerable promise in treating illness such as depression and schizophrenia. And then it actually gets in and starts talking about a bunch of the psychedelic stocks, compass pathways, Cybin, mind medicine. But to actually see that stuff happening in, places that people are going for investment advice and whatnot. This one was in Bloomberg. Magic Mushrooms gets Canadian export license in psychedelic race.
If you send it to me, I can bring them up.
Oh, okay. Well, let me. That's weird that I can't, but let me see if I can. Because if I post them over in the comments section, then can you grab them?
No.
No?
So if you send it in private chat.
Okay, let's try that one. Oh, yeah, that opened up the link anyway, right? So is that able to...
Yeah, just give me a sec.
Oh, that was Mika. That was just Mika going, roar. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that are still kind of scared of where things sit. You know, and I know there's a lot of people that think about, you know, utilizing microdoses and things like that.
Okay, your magic mushroom story is up.
Okay. Yeah, so here, this is Bloomberg. It's a huge investment paper, right? And this, again, is talking about it'll have different stocks and whatnot for people to go. But the fact that this is June 3rd, 2024 on Bloomberg. And what is it talking about? It's talking about the market today for psilocybin on the markets and you know, investment type advice and what people are talking. Like here, what's this? Lululemon founder's son, J.J. Wilson, betting on psilocybin demand. So there's a lot of people that are going to jump in and try to make a lot of money off of this. But when it comes to, you know, from a healing point of view, there was another one. What was the other one in there? The Money US News. Can you grab that one up? You know, there's.
So which one?
The third one that I posted up in there. It says moneyusnews.com.
The 7 best psychedelic stocks. That one?
Yeah, so can you scroll that just a little bit there? Again, this is a big investment thing. And what are they showing? It's funny that they always got to go, let's use the psychedelic type color type thing. It's funny they still use that. But, you know, it's, hey, but we're, you know, it's medicine. Go ahead and scroll up a little more there. So stop at the key takeaways. An FDA advisory panel voted against recommending the use of MDMA and PTSD therapy. But Johns Hopkins is already using psilocybin. Yeah, they've got a full program that people can take to go in and I think it was in if you, I'm bringing these up basically so that people can see if they're on the stock markets and you can spend money on them. Should you really be afraid of looking into utilizing some of them for medicines? There's the one, there's two that I put up at the bottom there. One is the Johns Hopkins medicine through the psychiatry and what they're doing. There we go. So they actually have a whole program on it, and you can participate in the program. And they found that if you grab the other one that was there, it's actually one of the studies. And, you know, psilocybin treatment for major depression effective for up to a year for most patients, the study finds. And if you, like, I was going through some of the other ones, I've got a few others here, and I was going through some of them, and it's talking about SSRIs and SNRIs, which are the first line of defense when it comes to depression and treatment, major treatment of treatment-resistant depression. And, you know, I'm going through there, and I'm reading that it only has about a 40% success rate. And I'm thinking, psilocybin's got a way higher success rate than the SSRIs and the SNRIs. So I can see why they're looking at utilizing it in where it's going, in the John Hopkins and all the other places, and the exporting licenses happening, etc., because it's got a way higher success rate in treating depression and treating anxiety than most of the meds do. And you don't have the struggles of getting off of the meds. When I did the medications, I found that I did the medications. It's not the medications would take me to a place of healing. The medications would medicate me so that the issues caused by the damage was supposedly mitigated or less harmful. I was less depressed. I was less anxiety, suffering less of the PTSD. But there was no road to healing on it. Whereas the psilocybin not only does it reduce the anxiety, and it repairs the brain areas, and it works on the PTSD and a multitude of other things, but it takes you to healing. It actually puts things together so that you can heal and not have to take it all the time.
We got to say, too, that the mushrooms aren't the things that are doing the work. They are tools, and they are there to show you the work that needs to be done and help you with that shadow work. They don't do the work for you. So it's the medicine combined with talk therapy and inner work that truly helps.
Yes. Well, that's more the big doses then. The microdosing, it just kind of does what it does, working in the background, repairing damaged pathways. So it does actually just work on its own, because it's working in a different aspect, because it's actually healing pathways and doing actual physical repair within the body as well, especially if you combine it with different adaptogens and other mushroom plants, etc., that can accentuate that aspect of healing along with it. But I found it quite interesting that I had this urge to look at where are things sitting, because the markets tell you a lot of where money is going to flow. And, money flowing to places isn't always a good thing. But at least money flowing to places means that, they're getting studies done. They're getting testing done. They're getting peer review done. And as a person that wants to find what works for my healing, I just want to know, these are safe. They're safe enough that all of this is going on. Well, then my hesitancy in trying, a 0.05 microdose, I don't need to have any, right? Start small and work your way up. Find your dosage and start small. But part of it is the hesitancy, and a lot of the hesitancy that people have is old programs running in the background that we're hearing all of the blah, blah, blah about bad. Just do some research. If you look, you'll find reputable sources. You'll find reputable people. It's as it sits right now, they're doing all the work and the research, but the products that they're going to have, they're not going to be on the markets for another 5 years at least. Who wants to sit around in the dark hole of depression or PTSD or anxiety for another 5 years when, places like Dana's shop downtown, our Addie's website, there's places you can go and find people to converse with and get information from. And, there's published studies you can look up. There's just those pages that we were pulling up. And just do a little research. If anybody's been hesitant on it, I highly recommend, just do a little research, and if it's been calling to you, reach out, because it's a good way to start the healing pathway, and that living in limited fear thing is a hard way to live. If you're already on any SSRIs or SNRIs or anything like that, you do have to be careful. So, find somebody that knows the information that can help you with that. And because some people go, I'm just going to stop doing them, and go this route, and I gotta say that's not a great way to go. Anything like that, I recommend you taper off and build with the other and make that happen. It's just better to be safe than sorry. So that's me babbling for 20 minutes. What do you got?
Oh, well, one of the things I got is if you are going to taper off your medicines that have been prescribed to you by a doctor, please do it with your doctor's supervision. We are not doctors, and they know how to come off those meds much better than somebody who hasn't done that. At least consult with your pharmacist. You know the safe steps to take. And you can feel safe in using cannabis if you are going through withdrawal. I've learned that one from experience.
Yeah. There's some people end up, everybody's different in the way they react to the medicines and the way they react coming off of the medicines. But there is lots of natural products that you can use to help in getting off of them and in helping the body change so that they're not required. What was one of the other? There was another one I wanted to bring up in here. It was hang on. I'm just going to grab it here and drop it into that link if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one, if I'm not mistaken, it was it was high dose for this one. So this one was about psilocybin producing substantial, and they'd run this like this is a further on study of a previous one that I'd done, because they were trying it to find out about reducing the depression and anxiety in patients that were dying from cancer. And there was a couple that were done and got great results. And so there's been a lot more happening. This is one of the ones from along more. But, what they're finding is it produces substantial and sustained decrease in the anxiety and the depression from having cancer. And for some people, that anxiety and depression can even be the tipping point in their battle against the cancer, so that by getting out of the depression and getting into the more positive, they focus more positively on the healing aspects. And now your energy is going into the healing rather than the depression and the dying, and it's changed their lives. People have actually reverse their cancer in their fight because they're getting in there and looking at it from a positive fight point rather than a negative fight point.
And there is a great documentary out there that highlights a lot of that. It is called Dosed 2. And they follow a lady who has cancer, and she does this psilocybin assisted therapy to help deal with the depression that comes on from her diagnosis. She also took cannabis oil, during all of this. And this movie was made, I think, 2 years ago. The lady was given 6 to 12 months, if I remember correctly, and she is still with us today and has a healthy outlook, and her cancer is shrinking. I guess she technically isn't cancer free yet, but is on her way.
Attitude makes a lot of difference. Your energy and the way you see yourself and the way you see your sickness has a lot to do with your healing. And as somebody, like, I know my brain works a little differently, but with this one, can you go up to the headline again on it for me?
I'm at the headline.
There, that one.
Yeah,
right there.
I was there.
No, up where I can read the not Sage Choice. I can't see the other part. Scroll it up.
Oh, so you want me to go down?
There, that part.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay, where I read psilocybin produces substantial and sustained decreases in depression and anxiety in patients with life-threatening cancer. How about, like in my brain, it just gets modified. It goes, and sustained decreases in depression and anxiety in patients with life-threatening illnesses. It's just specific that we're working on cancer. But really, if we were testing people that had life-threatening depression and anxiety because of PTSD, you're going to find the same aspects. You're going to find that psilocybin reduces substantial and sustained decreases. You know, we have this one thing and it's on cancer, but when you look at it, what is psilocybin doing? Oh, it's showing that it reduces and sustains the decrease in depression and anxiety from life-threatening disease. And where I kind of have an issue with, although this is an actual published study, so they're being in about the published study, but the fact that we focus on, oh, it's the cancer, it kind of takes away from the aspect of it's a life-threatening disease, and there's a lot of other people with life-threatening diseases that could very possibly find this same thing, that they would not have to be suffering from the anxiety and depression just by doing a guided blast of a high-dose blast of psilocybin. But it gives us something to look forward to in the future and to, you know, somewhere to go in the future with it. Yeah, I saw that. It's only 26 going on 27 minutes. Don't worry, I'll keep babbling anyway. But it is a good time to flip out and go to the break. So it's time to check out our sponsors, pay some bills. You're here with us live on the Mushie Moment on paceradio.net, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Camelford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Camelford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Camelford, Ontario.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partners 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Welcome back to the Mushie Moment, streaming live to you here at paceradio.net and everywhere. Oh, that thing again.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We got a comment on the last chat we were having about the lady beating cancer and the psilocybin helping. She said that's wonderful. So I just wanted to share that Judy was making a comment.
Awesome. And if anybody out there that just watches this video, and it doesn't matter if you're watching it on a restream or how you see this or hear this, if you're interested in microdosing, then get a hold of myself or Cindy. Like, just drop us a mail. Get a hold of us, because we can lead you through. We can help you. We can make recommendations. We can talk to you, and at least then you can get started. Actually, there's lots of modalities you can talk to us about. But if microdosing is, you're thinking about it, you're on the edge, and you're not really sure, just get a hold of us. We'll chat, and see if it's right. See if it's your time. And that's all I'm going to say on that now.
Okay.
But hey, guess what?
What?
It's a long weekend coming up.
Yeah, it is.
And it's Canada Day. And that's when they have Cannabis Day. And I realized that on our last show, we gave an homage to Jay Greg and a little blab. But really, with Cannabis Day coming up and the loss of Neil Magnuson, we should give a little shout out for Neil. And, we didn't really already. And,
no, the last show that we chatted about him, we had Rosie on, and that was just before Neil passed, just a few days before Neil passed away. He was a very loud voice in the cannabis community, and he was a very loud voice for those who are battling addiction. He's done a lot of work. He started the Cannabis Substitution Project here in Canada, and he started in Vancouver. He had a show with a dear friend of his, Glenn Wells, that I believe Glenn is still keeping on. And he would run that near his CSP Vancouver site. He has inspired CSP programs across this country. Spanning right out here to Nova Scotia, where we have one run by Chris Backer here in Halifax. As well as, of course, Langley and Surrey out there, which Rosie is a large part of. And I have seen them pop up throughout Canada with people wanting to help as well. So Neil has a legacy. It's called the Magnuson Foundation. And if you, we don't have a scroll ready because I didn't even think of doing this, but now I guess I'm talking.
Well, throw up the scroll because I can't grab it anyway. See if you can.
I'll look for it in a minute. But it's the Magnuson Foundation, and the Magnuson Foundation, you can go there. I don't know if I'm. No, I'm not finding it right. I'll go find it here in a second. Okay. Magnuson Foundation or CSP. I believe Rosie has a page too where you can donate specifically to the Surrey CSP. And I'll go find those links here. And if I don't get them done for the show, I will throw them up in Mushie Moment later on today. But Neil started all this. I don't know his story. I can't guess to his story. He was obviously affected in some way, either personally or by a family member or just by watching. My guess is some sort of combination of all that. And he knew that cannabis could help, and he watched it help. And that man had a hand in a lot of people taking their first step towards sobriety. And many, many, many of them have ended up in sobriety and have turned around and have joined his fight. And as we heard from Rosie, she is definitely one of them in joining his fight. So he started something very, very beautiful. And although we did lose him to cancer here a couple of weeks ago, his name and his foundation and his legacy will go on forever. I hope and pray in helping people beat and or fight and beat their addictions and regain their hold on life. That's my.
Well, this is going to be the first 420 event that the Cannabis Day is a pretty big event, and this will be the first one that he's only there really in spirit and not physically showing up.
Yeah.
So I expect that they're going to have a pretty good turnout just in honor of him and to honor his legacy. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few people there that have some great words for people to hear regarding it.
Oh, absolutely.
He did a lot. He did a lot to further things for people, and he was a humble champion, but was loud.
Yeah. So this isn't the Magnuson Foundation that I found, but I did bring up the Cannabis Substitution Project in Surrey. So this is one of the many CSPs across the country. And with the Surrey one, there is a donate button, so you can donate directly to the Surrey program. Again, I will find the Magnuson Foundation information and
I posted up the GoFundMe in the private chat thing. There was a GoFundMe. Greg Wells had put up a GoFundMe for the celebration of life and burial stuff, but I couldn't find the I'm still looking too.
Yeah, but you can donate through here, and it is the Magnuson Magnuson Foundation.
You found it?
No, not yet.
Oh.
God bless Neil. He was a pretty amazing dude.
Yeah, he held his truth quite close to his heart. It didn't matter what people, would say or do. It was like, no, this is my truth, and you can't change my view on it because it's my truth, not just a belief. And it's great. He made a lot of stuff happen. The cannabis substitution, I think, is going to be something that grows quite heavily. And I already know a couple people that use it.
Yep.
It's a decent thing. So I'm going to go down to it this year. In Vancouver here, I guess it's going to be at the library or the art gallery.
Art gallery.
Yes, the art gallery.
Yeah. Okay, I was Googling the Magnuson Foundation, and the reason why I couldn't find it is they don't have a Google page set up yet. But here it is.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Let me get back to it. There we go. So yeah, you can go onto here and learn about some different things going on. And you can reach out to them through here if you would just like to donate to the Magnuson Foundation, which does a lot of work in helping people.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, he may have passed, but at least his legacy is here to carry on, and the work will be carried on. And it's nice that there's people picking up where he started the walk. It's like, hey, it needs to keep going. It's for a good reason. It's helping a lot of people, and yeah. So this will be the first Cannabis Day that people will be missing him.
This will be the first cannabis celebration of any sort that people will be missing him. He wasn't able to come out for the 420 event this past year, like this past April, but he was there via the internet. So he did get to be part of it. He was unfortunately in the hospital on the last part of his journey here on this earth. But his legacy will live on. People will hopefully continue with the Magnuson Foundation and the CSPs and the fight that Neil was fighting. And we know Rosie, and Rosie is geared to do it. So I think with her being part of the crowd that is continuing to fight, it will definitely live on.
Yes, and it's needed. It's, a lot of people kind of walked away from the cannabis struggle and supporting the cannabis struggle because they went, well, it's legal, but it's legal for recreational. And when it comes to medicinal and people that require it medically, the price point doesn't work for those people. It's, it's just we've got to have it adjusted. There's got to be a medicinal end of it that comes into play. Right now it's, well, you can grow your own. Well, it's pretty hard to grow enough weed to keep you healthy if you're doing a fair amount of the oil daily to, get your homeostasis up. And you're only allowed to grow 4 plants, and you can only grow them to certain heights, and that doesn't get you much of that oil. So, if you would need to buy the oil, some places sell that stuff for $70 a gram. My buddy Gene was doing 7 to 10 grams a day in his cancer battle. And, if a person had to pay even $50 a gram, which is a discounted price on it, that's still too much money. And to grow it, we went up to the Kootenays and we grew a whole pile of plants so that he could have enough oil to carry on till his whole next batch of plants. And that's a hell of a lot of work for somebody that's fighting cancer. That's a hell of a lot of work for somebody that isn't fighting cancer. That was a hell of a lot of work for 2 guys that had a bunch of friends coming out to help them on that journey. It was a lot of work, and I can't even fathom, the fact that Gene was up there as long as he was while he was battling cancer, living on a mountainside, growing weed, like astronomical. But if you're in one of those fights where you require it in your battle, our current system isn't set up to help you. And that's where the change needs to be adjusted. That's where focus really needs to be put, and attention needs to go, and help needs to go. So, Neil recognized that. He recognized that there was great advancements and in what has already happened, but he recognized that there was a lot more to go. And, not just for the aspect of freeing cannabis, but for the aspect of freeing the people that can't afford to use the cannabis. And, high five, brother. We'll do what we can to keep the fight going, and thanks for showing us a direction.
Yep.
What do you want to talk about now? Come on, you've been doing a bunch of studying on that 5-MeO DMT. You're doing a lot of studying. Give me some data.
Give you some data. Oh, we are talking about. Oh, good Lord! It's all escaping my head right now. We are talking about post ceremony stuff right now, integration, self-care afterwards. And this really, everything I'm studying now, it's not just about 5-MeO, it's about any mind-altering medicine, really. And a person needs to look after themselves after they do one of these journeys. This is one of the reasons why things do cost a little bit more than expected. I've heard people complain about the cost of some of these bigger meds, right? That you need somebody there for. You're not necessarily paying for the medicine, you're paying for the sitter. Does that make, do you know what I mean? So when you do some of these bigger journeys, integration is a very, 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 very large part of it. And it is the main part. It is where you take all of the information that you processed or downloaded, and you work to make it a part of your everyday daily life. The first 72 hours post any of these big medicines is very important. You need some self-love and some self-care. Take a few days off. Don't jump right back into life. Go to a hotel or an Airbnb, or tell your family that you're living with to get out, and they can go for a hotel visit, and you get your house all to yourself. No matter what scenario, you need to find that peace and quiet for at least 72 hours, at least 3 days. And then it's a really good idea. And depending on which medicine you're working with, is what I've learned is how strong you would suggest to somebody to maybe work with some integration specialists. I am learning 5-MeO DMT right now, which is known to be the strongest entheogen known to man right now. Vicamine, it is the big guy in the psychedelic world, and I'm learning that it is highly suggested to do some integration work afterwards. So we are being taught some integration work, but at the same time, it's well worth somebody, especially if they have a challenging experience or a big experience, to seek outside integration work with a specialist. Somebody that has studied integration, preferably somebody who has studied integration and talk therapy, and has also at least partook in a ceremony of some sort themselves, so they know a little bit about the psychedelics and can kind of draw on that and draw them together. So that's a lot of the stuff that we're learning right now is, who should be the specialist, who's good to lean on, stuff like that. And it's really interesting stuff. It's going to make me, the next time I go to do 5-MeO, I am going to do it with a little bit of difference in the afterwards. Like, I'm usually out in BC. I'm usually, going from 5-MeO one day to resting the next day to, hey, let's go do 420 the day after that. And, the next time I go for some Bufo and some 5-MeO, I'm hoping next month, I'm going to take 3 days and go camping in the woods in my van afterwards. And I'm going to see what kind of differences I can notice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it's integrating the calm and the awe that you get out of it back into your daily life, and not just running into the grind full force running again. It's like wander in, saunter in, and look for where you can make things smoother and make things a little more integrated. I find that integration is huge. I tend to spend the next day integrating data with my brain, doing a lot of processing that way, and through that, stuff gets filed, and just an added level of calmness comes in, an added level of getting rid of stuff that was in there bouncing. It gets filed. It's like, yep, that's where all that, and life becomes quieter. You're still in the same life. There's still all the same chaos. It's just that your space in that life becomes quieter. You find more calm in that chaos. It just makes it easier to just be rather than struggling to be part of the chaos. Whereas I like to say, I'm just trying to tread water in this big sea of chaos here. Look, help. And then all of a sudden you're just floating on the water. Oh, wow. If I quit struggling, I would have been floating. Who knew? And then you come home and you try to not bring the struggle. You keep the struggle out.
For me, it's a little different. I find the integration and working with talk therapy is detrimental. It's not as easy for me to just say, oh, that belongs over there and that belongs over there. I need talk therapy to go with it and integration to go with it to help me put those things over there. I have found that with iboga and 5-MeO especially.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of babbling when I'm doing the processing.
Yeah.
Actually, you usually get the phone call. You're my talk therapist.
I know. You are my practice to become, as I'm working towards becoming an integration specialist.
Got to keep someone on their toes.
It works, right?
Because a lot of it is getting other points of view, right? You can always see your point of view, but getting other points of view. And the medicine for me leaves my brain open so that when I get other points of view or other ways to look at what I'm looking at, it's like, oh, it opens up the vision a little wider. So now I get 3 or 4 different views of what I was looking at. And as you get the different views, it's easier to find that place. Oh, that gets filed over here. I didn't realize that was this. It just needs to go over here. But by seeing it from different views and not getting stuck in the loop that your own view can create, because getting out of your own view, that can be a fight. A lot of people struggle for their views. A lot of world fights happen because of people's views. And the one thing I got to say is the medicine at least opens my brain so I can hear other people's points of view on how they see it. And I don't struggle as hard to hold mine. I can let mine go and go, oh, I can see that. Oh, I can see that. And then I integrate those aspects and visions into my point of view, which changes my future from then, right? Long, awkward space.
Long, awkward, silent space. I'm just going to take a drag.
I'm trying to get used to letting them happen.
What's that?
I'm trying to get used to letting those long, awkward spaces happen.
Once you get used to it, they're not awkward anymore.
I know. You just got to get used to them.
Then they just become, a dramatic pause for effect. See? Wasn't
that was awesome. That was awesome. Oh, man. Wow. Well, we're getting close to that time. Is there anything you wanted to say before we get to that time, Cindy? Because it seems like I'm doing most of the talking today.
I'm used to that, Steve. Anything else that I would want to say? Just to reiterate that if you are curious about any of these medicines, or even a medicine that we don't talk about on a regular because we haven't done it yet or something, feel free to, again, reach out to Steve or I. If we don't know about the medicine, we have a lot of people in this space. We have Anki and Miriam. They know so much. They have a wonderful network of different people with different medicines as well. And that's just to, name one avenue that we have friends in. So if we don't know the medicine, we can still help you find people that do. So please feel free to reach out anytime. If we don't get back to you, please remember there are spam folders on, the Facebook Messenger. And, I only check that once in a while. So if I don't know you, it won't necessarily come through all the way. You can feel free to reach out via Pace Radio as well. You can go just to our Pace Radio network page, and you can message the network and say, hey, please tell Cindy to check her spam folder, or Steve. and we can get your message that way. How's that?
Nice. That was a good piece of data to put out like that. I got nothing to follow it up. I got nothing.
No, nothing. Nothing.
Do you guys have any 420 thing happen on Canada Day out in Nova Scotia?
Well, there is a nonprofit organization down here, Maritimers Unite for Medical Marijuana, and I think that they have something going on Canada Day, but they used to run out of the capital city. They now run somewhere in the valley, and I don't know where, and I don't know the details. But I'm sure that it's easy to look up. If anybody is in Nova Scotia and wants to find something fun to do, Maritimers Unite for Medical Marijuana, MUMM, if you look them up on Facebook, they will probably have posters and whatnot of things that they are doing. And I do know that they have a cannabis festival coming up in a few weeks.
And if you're in Vancouver, you just head on down to the art gallery, and there'll be some vendors set up. There'll be there will be a lot of people there with products. There will be a lot of people there talking. There will be a lot of Neil Magnuson's friends there. So,
there will be a lot of cops there trying to be a pain in the ass.
No, they usually just stand around and watch things. Who knows this one though, right? The last couple of years have been a little funky.
Yeah.
But if the event happens, they'll just be standing around the outside and just making sure everybody's safe.
Yep.
Wow. And then in November, we've got the Spirit Plant Medicine Conference, which we've got some, they got a whole bunch of good guest speakers again this year. John and I have got a booth there as well this year, so we'll have the At Ease product there for anybody that wants to come down and feel a little at ease.
Yeah.
What else we got? Anything else in the near future coming up?
I don't think so. I'm going to be taking off for Mexico in September. So I won't be here. I'll be studying in Mexico.
Yeah, bummer. Yeah, that's really rough.
It's terrible. I have to go down there for a 2-week practicum and graduation.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm almost done my cacao program. I've been just slow and steadying, so within the next week or so here, I should have that all completed and then on to the next level.
That's awesome.
In the meantime, I'm just using it like crazy because with it being as powerful a superfood as it is, as well as a heart modulator and everything it does for the blood, man, that's one that everybody should be on. Everybody should just be on that. Everybody should have cacao. But, you know, that's okay. At least now we get to put on ceremonies and introduce people to something that they should be utilizing, which will be awesome.
Yeah. We're good.
So since you first saw the movie Dosed, how many new medicines have you done?
Iboga, DMT, Combo, Sonanga, Hape. I think just 5.
Oh, and Bufo.
And Bufo. 6. And DMT, but I did it beforehand. I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And then, of course, even though I was doing microdosing, it's brought me back to macrodosing with mushrooms, and it's brought LSD back into my life. I also have peyote here that I can microdose with, but I haven't done it. I have microdosed again with ayahuasca, but I haven't done an ayahuasca journey, but I have microdosed with it since then. So there's been a few.
Wow.
7, I think. I think I've done 7, including different microdoses. It's brought back mushrooms and it's brought back LSD, which really, if you kind of adds up to 9. And if I ever do this peyote that I own, it'll be 10.
Wow.
It has me. Oh no, and cacao 11.
Oh, it's kind of funny because I hadn't actually viewed that myself either. And it's like, oh, look at all of these new medicines that have come into my life as soon as I decided to focus on healing and not just be in my trauma and my PTSD, but to actually focus on healing. It's been an interesting pathway. I look forward to all the new data I can gather. And, because I got to say, from trying to find data when I was first putting my first microdoses together to what's available now is mind-boggling, actually. It's mind-boggling. There's just so much. There's enough info that it's easy to get lost, actually. So that's kind of one of the other reasons I say, if you're thinking about it, just get a hold of us. However, I know you can find me. Cindy found me, so you can find me.
Really wasn't that hard.
But that takes us to that time. So it is that time again. So thank you all for joining us here on the Mushy Moment with my co-host Cindy and myself and our awesome guests, us and you. And we're proud to be coming to you from paceradio.net. We'll see you next week. Have an awesome day. Much love. Much love. Did I face the right way? I did.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.